Tzu Chi volunteers set up 36 prefabricated houses for displaced quake victims in Kananga, Philippines. Tzu Chi holds its first aid distribution for the first responders affected by Hurricane Harvey in Jefferson County, Texas. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program with some news from the Philippines. A strong earthquake struck Kananga of central Philippines back in July and displaced many residents. To provide the residents with housing, Tzu Chi volunteers delivered 36 prefabricated houses. As the volunteers set up these prefabricated houses for the displaced quake victims, they've also witnessed the strength and unity of local residents. Let's take a look.
A cow was brought to this bare land, but she is not tilling the farm.
My family decided to till the land where our home once stood. My husband brought the cow here and used it to till the land so it can be cleared faster, and we will also use it to help neighbors.
A strong earthquake happened in July in Kananga, Philippines, and Tzu Chi volunteers came to Hurricane to help people build prefabricated houses. The locals are incredible as they uphold their promise to clear the land for the prefabricated houses.
When I came, I was shocked because I saw what they had done. You know, this like rice terraces, and yet they did it very well with their own hand and just a very simple tool.
People join hands together and help build prefabricated houses.
We will join hands and build a new community, and we will take care of each other and respect each other.
We plan to let each family grow their own vegetables. Then when Tzu Chi comes again, they will be very happy.
The result is there after 2 days of hard work, and the residents can also move into their new homes. They feel very hopeful towards their new lives.
Also in the Philippines, when Typhoon Haiyan devastated Tacloban in 2003, Tzu Chi promoted a work for relief program to help recovery efforts. In doing so, they've also inspired many local volunteers. Though these local volunteers are not rich in monetary terms, they're glad to do their share in giving their time and love, helping to further propagate Tzu Chi in Tacloban.
Sitting inside her office, Borough Head Judith Casco is helping settle an argument her constituents is having. Her way of conduct is much different than before.
Malaki yung pinagbago niya since nandun na siya sa Tzu Chi.
After joining Tzu Chi, her temper has changed for the better. In the past, if someone upset her, she would immediately get mad. And now she chooses to listen and provide suggestions instead of getting mad.
Nagpapayo.
After Typhoon Haiyan destroyed Tacloban, Tzu Chi swooped in to help rebuild. This gave rise to many local volunteers, such as 55-year-old Judith Casco, who has breast cancer but still joined the ranks of the volunteers.
In one of Master Zheng Yan's books, it speaks about life, growing old, sickness, and death as being a part of one's living process. It seems those who do good deeds don't often become ill, so we can take illness as an excuse to not do good deeds, but it should be something that propels us to do good deeds.
The changes in Judith are felt by her husband, and now he's also joining in to do charitable deeds.
I've been influenced by my wife. I don't play the lotto anymore. I take the money I play the lotto with and donate it to the Bamboo Coin Bank to help others.
This other husband and wife pair, Teresa and Abraham Ong, do their best to reciprocate Tzu Chi's assistance by collecting recyclables.
When Typhoon Haiyan hit us, we accepted help from all over the world. This is the reason I tell myself I must give something back.
The time my wife and I spend being volunteers are time we set aside to help our fellow countrymen, especially for the poor like me.
From receivers to givers, love has spread deeply throughout Tacloban, and ripples of love are now becoming much like a tidal wave.
In Taiwan, the fourth Mount Guanyin cleanup event was recently held. This time, more than 400 people, including Tzu Chi volunteers, staff from Tzu Chi Communications and Culture Foundation, recycling volunteers from Bali District Office, and staff from the Sioux came together to clean the mountain. In addition, some people who went hiking on that day also joined the effort. Together, they collected 750 bags of garbage, carting them away in 4 trucks. Let's take a look.
One by one, these adults and children walk up the stairs with bamboo poles from the entrance to Mount Guanyin. This is the 4th cleanup event for Mount Guanyin. Besides Tzu Chi volunteers, some other groups also joined the cause.
We want to call upon more people to join us, so this time 150 staff from ASUS showed up.
Tzu Chi volunteers have come and cleaned up the mountain for us. Because we didn't join the past 3 times, we hope we can go this time.
We also hope we could clear the land with real actions.
After hiking for 1 hour, they finally came to their destination. They quickly used ropes because they are going down the slope to remove the garbage from this grassy area. The bamboo poles have become shoulder posts for them. Among the people cleaning up the mountains are employees from the Tzu Chi Communications and Culture Foundation and also hikers in the area that day.
Everyone is responsible to keep the environment clean.
I brought my son, and my wife has not yet arrived.
I came because I wanted to protect the earth and cherish resources.
If you go digging, there is still much garbage. I feel once, twice, and 3 times are not enough. We must keep doing it.
From rusty parts to metal sheets, not to mention all kinds of glass and cans, there is all kinds of garbage removed from the mountain. Everyone here helps each other and carries the garbage down the mountain. Although they are sweaty, they bring the garbage down the mountain so the mountain can become pretty again.
Over the past decade, Thailand has experienced flooding almost every rainy season. The most memorable flooding took place in 2011, with the Chao Phraya River bursting its banks. From north to south, nearly 1/3 of Thailand was hit with rain for a period of 4 months. Some people describe the situation as a slow-moving tsunami. The World Bank predicts that the risks of flooding in Bangkok will increase 4-fold by 2050. The OECD has also listed Bangkok as one of the 10 cities in the world that are most likely to suffer from coastal floods by 2070. However, these threats of climate change have done little to slow down the country's pace of development and construction. Here is our in-depth report.
The city of Bangkok is basically below sea level or that of the river, so we will meet many challenges. Even without climate change, it is sinking faster than sea levels are rising, which will pose a major threat.
These conditions are poor, coupled with unusual rainfall, leads Thailand to experience flooding annually. The most important water system is Chao Phraya River, which is the lifeblood of the agricultural economy. However, it is now a potential risk as its total length of more than 1,300 kilometers accounts for 1/3 of Thailand's territory.
The Chao Phraya River is the longest river in Thailand, stretching from the north to the south, passing through all of Thailand's territory. Bangkok, the largest city in Thailand, sits at the mouth of the Chao Phraya River. However, because the average elevation is only about 2 meters above sea level, there is often flooding during the rainy season.
The World Bank predicts the risk of flooding in Bangkok will increase 4-fold by 2050. OECD has also listed Bangkok as one of the 10 cities in the world that are most likely to suffer from coastal floods before 2070.
Continual development and building along with pressure on groundwater will lead it to face more pressure from climate change.
Thailand's rapidly developing economy includes an emerging furniture industry, which in the next 3 years will go from 2 to 10% of Asian exports. Naturally, booming exports mean the country's forests will have to be sacrificed to fuel this industry. Thailand's forest cover has declined rapidly from 50% in the 1970s to less than 25% today. This has even affected the country's high economic value rubber forest.
Rubber wood prices are relatively high. We plant it because it can provide a stable long-term income, as we will not lose money as it continues to grow, and after the harvest, we will plant even more.
Thailand's rubber wood is classified as a cash crop, with 60% planted in the south. Thailand is one of the top 3 countries when it comes to natural rubber production, with an annual output of more than 3,000 tons.
When rubber trees turn 20 to 25 years old, they don't produce rubber anymore, and they need to be cut down, as we are the ones to process it.
Here we see a large amount of timber sent to the factory. This is Thailand's 3rd largest city, Hat Yai. 20 years ago, Taiwan businessmen came here to produce plastic boards, but also started harvesting rubber trees which were past their productive years.
After trimming, these leftover strips, together with its sawdust, can become our raw material. Before, it was just fertilizer or simply burned as fuel.
Actually, the processing area sees a conveyor belt taking these boards and subjecting them to pressure and high temperature to create this particle board, which can be used to make furniture. Each day, this facility can consume 2,300 tons of waste material.
We want to gradually lower down the temperature to about 40 degrees Celsius.
Furniture industry has frequently been criticized for environmental issues. Taiwanese companies have acted quickly and made use of these waste materials and reduced the need for logging, have also reduced costs, creating business opportunities, as this company has now become Asia's top 3 particle board factory.
Rubber material can be found in Hat Yai, as this city is actually the world's largest exporter of rubber, as it were, are located right in the center of this industry.
Thailand is a tropical country which has lots of sun, rain, and forests. This environment is quite suitable for life, and the sun is also a potential source of clean energy. The Thai government has given a number of investment concessions for the development of the energy industry. It hopes by 2036 solar power can be expanded to 6,000 megawatts, accounting for 9% of the total energy generating capacity.
We are the first solar company to invest in Thailand that received favorable benefits from the Thai government. Thailand is advocating green energy and wants to attract foreign capitals into this industry.
Taiwan's major production in this field is chips and solar panel modules. Many are optimistic about the outlook for the renewable energy industry in Thailand. With technology and capital, this initial overseas production base in less than 2 years has already achieved the much-needed scale.
Taiwan's first solar panel facility in Thailand has grown into the largest investment in Southeast Asia, with customers in Europe, America, and Japan.
For electronics, microelectronics, and the semiconductor industry, Thailand is actually a sort of desert.
Here it is mostly finished, as each piece is visually inspected at the end.
Taiwan's top 3 solar cell panel maker after entering Thailand has now become the largest solar panel cell factory in Thailand, has even begun producing peripheral products to contribute to the supply chain.
It can satisfy the local market and also be a base for production for Southeast Asia.
Thailand, which has endured a decade of heavy rains, may soon suffer the effects of climate change, making the development of green economy imperative. From recycling waste material to solar energy as a form of renewable energy, all these opportunities are available in the pursuit of a sustainable economy.
In the United States, in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, Tzu Chi has held its first aid distribution for the first responders in Beaumont and Port Arthur in Jefferson County, Texas. In total, 448 households received cash cards with a value of $600, emergency supplies, blankets, and instant rice. Some families of police officers remarked that Tzu Chi is the only organization providing much-needed aid for them. The volunteers hope that, as these unsung heroes work around the clock in times of disaster, they can also be taken care of.
Jefferson County Courthouse is the place where Tzu Chi volunteers hold their first aid distribution for first responders in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey.
This is the aid distribution voucher, which looks more like an invitation. To show respect for the first responders, the volunteers put everyone's name, distribution date, location, and time on the invitation, so the recipients feel less like they are getting help.
This was an angel calling, and I knew exactly what you wanted. Thank you so much for this. You are angels that have just arrived and helping this crew out.
Most of the people here are first responders, or people who are usually first on the scene of emergencies. After Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, they've been working around the clock, hardly returning to their homes.
My wife's actually a police officer as well, and she works in different cities. She's working right now around the clock. So we haven't been able to go by our house because we're both been working 24/7. So I'm a little exhausted, but you know, you kind of start, there's light at the end of the tunnel, you know, so it's getting there. Yeah, and still going right now. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll let you go.
Being the protectors of the public, many are also disaster victims. Tzu Chi volunteers have given them cash cards with a value of $600.
Many of them have not returned home for days. Although their houses are flooded, they are unable to go home. I think this is the best and most direct way to support them.
The volunteers have also come across a police who received a generator given by Tzu Chi 12 years ago in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
I've had that generator for 12 years, and then I've taken it, and now it's being used by multiple families. Y'all have been there through every emergency that we've ever had. Y'all have always provided, and y'all have always been there. It's been fantastic.
The representative of Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security also gives the volunteers commemorative coins.
You guys have been here every time for us, and we cannot thank you enough.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The families and the first responders are the ones that usually are in the background. Right. So the fact that they think about them and care about them means more than anything.
In time of devastating disasters, the work and contribution of the first responders are essential. After receiving much-needed aid, they can better serve and protect the public.
Also in the United States, before Tzu Chi held aid distributions for those affected by Hurricane Harvey, volunteers visit the Vietnamese community near the Texas Hall. Since it is the biggest Vietnamese community in the United States, volunteers hope they can eventually garner support in the community. Here's more.
Here we are seeing a different part of Houston. The road signs and store signs are written in Vietnamese. This is the biggest Vietnamese community in the United States, with at least 150,000 people. Many Vietnamese Americans have also been affected by Hurricane Harvey.
You know us, right? It's from Tzu Chi Foundation.
Oh.
Right down there, your neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we should come earlier.
Han Quang, the CEO of Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters, leads the Vietnamese American Tzu Chi volunteer in Houston to visit shop owners in the Vietnamese community.
They do not know Tzu Chi. It's good that they are able to accept Tzu Chi. Among the 10 shops we visit, if 2 of them accept us, I'd be really happy.
The boss manager is not here?
Yeah.
With love and care for the community, the volunteers continue to visit the people here.
The neighbors around Jingsa Hall can bring great strength in the future. We hope to spread the message of love so that in the future we can inspire more people in the community. Then there will be more people caring for those in need with us.
Neighbors can sometimes be the first ones to offer help. Therefore, despite the fact there are many aid distributions the volunteers need to prepare for, they still take the time to visit their neighboring Vietnamese community, offering love and care.
As another effort to help Hurricane Harvey victims, Tzu Chi volunteers are working with the Red Cross to provide much-needed cleaning tools to residents in Texas. In addition, besides holding aid distributions to help Hurricane Harvey victims, Tzu Chi volunteers are also preparing for upcoming free clinic. In California, volunteers are planning to drive Tzu Chi's mobile clinic to Texas, providing needed medical equipment for local doctors to hold free clinic services. Let's take a look.
The volunteers are busy organizing the medical equipment, as the Tzu Chi Mobile Clinic in California will be driven to Texas to help with the disaster relief efforts.
This Tzu Chi Mobile Clinic is the first one in the United States. After Hurricane Katrina struck, we also drove this mobile clinic to the shelter. If the affected residents have the need, we can drive the mobile clinic there and stay for 1 or 2 days.
Most of the medical equipment on the mobile clinic is for dental services. The volunteers double-check the medical supplies to ensure they can be used in Texas.
Usually when we serve for 1 day, we can sanitize the equipment, but this time we will be away for several days, as we need to prepare more equipment, as we might not be able to sanitize them in time.
Since California is about 2,500 kilometers away from Texas, 2 drivers will take turns driving to ensure the safety of the trip.
We estimate it will take us 2 days to get to Texas. Along the way, we will take turns and adjust our break time.
I have always been working at a medical mission affiliate. Therefore, it is my wish to go to the disaster area to accompany and help them.
In Texas, Tzu Chi volunteers divide into teams to assess the needs of disaster victims. In Sugar Land, cleaning tools are needed. Therefore, volunteers have promised to provide them with the needed supplies.
We've coordinated different organizations to send truckloads of cleaning tools here. The Red Cross will give us the information on which church, low-income families, or nursing homes need the supplies. Then we will give out the cleaning tools to these places.
Tzu Chi has joined hands with the Red Cross, doing its best to help the affected residents in Texas rebuild their homes and lives.
Hurricane Irma made landfall along Florida's southwest coast after causing damages in several Caribbean islands. Globomatic, an NGO in Canada, has prepared aid supplies to be sent to the affected countries. Upon learning of the news, Tzu Chi volunteers in Toronto mobilized to help Globomatic pack the supplies, which include water purifiers. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.